The Bible Story by Creeda. David and Goliath, the Battle of Faith. Did you know there was a time a shepherd dared to challenge a giant? Long ago, in the valley of Elah, fear gripped the Israelites as a giant named Goliath mocked their God. For 40 days, Goliath issued his challenge. Yet not a single warrior dared to step forward. But a shepherd boy, David, stood firm. "Who is this Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" he declared. With only his staff, sling, and 5 stones, David prepared to face a giant, trusting not in weapons but in the power of the Almighty God. Goliath scoffed, yet David was unshaken. He declared, "You come to me with a sword, but I come in the name of the Lord Almighty." The stone struck its mark, and the giant fell. In a single moment, David triumphed over a force no man dared to face. The victory belonged to the Lord, who used a shepherd to defeat a giant. David's faith had prevailed, and Israel celebrated. Samson conquers the lion. Long ago, in the city of Zorah, a boy named Samson was set apart from birth, dedicated as a Nazirite to God, bound by a vow of strength and purpose. Years later, the Spirit of the Lord stirred within him. He traveled to the vineyards of Timnah, where destiny awaited. Then a lion came roaring toward him, fierce and hungry. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon Samson, and with his bare hands he tore the lion as if it were a young goat. He left the lion's carcass, speaking not a word to his parents. Days later, he returned and saw bees and honey in the lion's body, a sweet reward from God. Samson's battle with the lion was but the beginning, a reminder that the Spirit of God gives strength in the face of impossible battles. Samson's story reminds us that strength alone is not enough. It is our faith in God's Spirit that empowers us. For our battles are not of flesh and blood, and we must trust the one who fights for us always. Daniel in the lion's den. In the halls of power, envy festered. Daniel, favored by the king for his faithfulness, became the target of those who sought his downfall. And so, a trap was laid, one that would test Daniel's unwavering devotion to God. Daniel knew the decree. He knew the cost of his prayer, but his faith could not be silenced. And so, with eyes lifted to heaven, he prayed, even as the eyes of his enemies watched from the shadows. Though King Darius regretted his decree, the law was unbreakable. Daniel was cast into the pit of lions, sentenced to death for his devotion. But even in the face of death, Daniel's faith did not waver. In the midst of the darkness, God sent his angel to protect his servant. The lions, once ferocious, were stilled by a power greater than their hunger. At the break of day, the king rushed to the den, and there, to his amazement, Daniel stood unharmed. God had shut the mouths of the lions, and his servant was saved. The men who had conspired against Daniel, who had sought his destruction, met their own doom. Thrown into the same pit, they were devoured by the lions they had thought would take Daniel's life. With the judgment complete, the lions rested once again. Daniel had been delivered, his faith in God unshaken. And so, through one man's faith, a kingdom was reminded of the power of the Almighty. The Bible Story by Creeda.